Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome back to the stream. So, today we are going to be continuing work on controller support for Gunforged. I am happy to say that I think controller support is largely done. I just have to add like this aim assist in here, which is just going to be a very light touch aim assist, I think. I also need to add controller rumbling to various places and do some options related to that. So I want to make an option. Well, we'll see. But yeah, there's going to be some options menu stuff being added, and then aim assist is going to be the main focus for this stream. I think that the aim assist is going to be fairly easy, but anyway. So we've got 7 days till release, as Luca mentions here. So a week from today, Gunforged will be out. It sounds unreal, but we got 1 week left and it'll be available for purchase. So I'm really excited to get this into your hands. I think you're going to be very happy with the price. I think you're going to be very happy with the content. And once I get this controller stuff done today, I think I'll have the controller stuff done, like quote unquote done. Then I'm just going to be spending the rest of my time focusing on continuing to reach out to content creators and other people in that space for coverage of the game, and then also I'm going to be playtesting a ton since the controller support is kind of being added last minute, and I just want to make sure everything works nice and good. The main thing I want to do is make sure I didn't break anything with respect to the keyboard and mouse controls, because if there is a problem with the controller, then at least people will be able to fall back to the mouse and keyboard, right? So I don't want to end up in a state where both of those input methods are broken, though. That would be bad. So I need to do a ton of testing, and I'm going to have ask my friend to test with the controller as well, just so I have another set of eyes and pair of hands, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, before I get into it, as mentioned, Gunforged is releasing in a week, so please wishlist that. It's linked in the description below. And also I've got my Udemy courses available for sale, so if you want to learn how to build a complete game in the Godot engine, you can definitely check those out. Those help me out a lot, but I think it'll help you out a lot as well if you're interested in jumping into Godot with a comprehensive course. All right. So, good morning, Luca. I'll miss your stream. They keep me company while I program my game. Well, the stream isn't going anywhere. I think that obviously there's not going to probably be as much Gunforged streaming after release. But I mean, maybe within the first couple weeks after release, we'll still do Gunforge stuff. I might, come up with some content ideas that I want to add for some like post-release patches, and there might be bugs to fix and whatnot. But I also have other game ideas sort of in the backlog that I want to prototype, so probably we'll be doing those on the stream. But yeah, I'm not planning on ending the stream. It just will shift away from Gunforged stuff, Hello, Christopher. Welcome back. Good morning. Okay, so we're going to do aim assist now. So the first thing that I want to do is if I go to my cursor here, let's see. Update aim position. Aim position. Where is this aim position being used? Oh, get aim position. Okay. So, is this being used in the cursor? Let's see. No. Okay. So, basically what I want to do is, let's do this. Private const float default controller. Oh no, let's do controller aim distance. So basically what I want to do is I'm going to use this commented out code for aim assist, and that aim assist is going to go in here, and this update aim position is called in process, so that'll be fine. But the problem is that I have this cursor here, crosshair.visible, cursor locks greater than 0, crosshair.visible equals true, input.mouse mode. So where is this? Oh, you know what I'm doing? Root.visible. Yeah, so I'm changing the visibility of the root there, which I know doesn't mean much, but let me explain it here. So I've got my cursor component. This is just a canvas layer drawn on a very high index. And then I've got a root, which has both cursor variants under it. And depending on which kind of cursor locks you have in place, it's either going to show the crosshair or it's going to show that. Now, I actually want to update this crosshair. I want to make the blue match. Do I do that right now? No, we'll wait. Okay. But, so I want the crosshair to be shown if an option is enabled for controller. So there's going to be two options. You can either play without a crosshair on controller, or you can have the crosshair. It's not that you're going to be able to aim the crosshair specifically with the controller. It'll just be that the crosshair kind of will show you where your aim is actually going. So let's see. The first thing I want to do is options manager. Let's do this. JSON property is controller crosshair enabled. Public bool is is controller crosshair enabled. All right. So in here, let's get rid of this. Update cursor. Cursor.visible is equal to global input manager.is using keyboard. And true. Is this update cursor being called? Oh, I see. So anytime the here I need to do another thing here. Global input manager dot connect dot instance dot connect global input manager dot signal name dot input mode changed, callable.from on input mode changed. So I need to call that update cursor when on input mode changed is called or happens. Private void on input mode change, call update cursor, just so we can update that visibility. Okay, so I'm going to also call update cursor here just for safety purposes. I don't know if I need to do that, but that's fine. Crosshair.visible is equal to true. So we want crosshair.visible to be equal to global input manager.is using keyboard, or options manager dot, what did I call it? Is controller crosshair enabled? And I'm actually just going to cheat here. I'm just going to return true. I'm just wiring up the options here so that I can go in and plug that value in later, but I'm just going to force it to true here. Okay, so let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. Okay. It's showing the crosshair, but the crosshair's position is not being updated based on where I'm actually aiming, and that's because it's still locked to that mouse position, and that's happening in the process here. So root.global position is equal to root.getGlobal mouse position. I think that what I'm going to need to do is, if global input manager.is using keyboard, that's what we want to do. But otherwise, we want the else if, let's do global input manager, or no, let's do if options manager.is using, or is controller crosshair enabled. Root.global position is equal to this.get player, player input manager. Input manager. Get aim position. Otherwise, is aim position a global? Oh, this is not going to work, is it? I'm going to need to transform this because this is a canvas layer. This is not going to work, but I'm just going to put it in here anyway. Let me think. Yeah, this is not going to work. I need to transform it to the canvas position. Well, I'm going to have to figure out how to do all those transforms, I guess. That's not going to be fun. But, you know, it is what it is, you know. This is not going to work. Yeah, so you can see that it's completely wrong. It's like rotating around here. And that's because like I said, I need to transform the global position in terms of the player's global position to the global position in terms of the canvas layer here. But I've got the cursor showing up, so that's good. And the idea is that this will just be a fixed length, so you know where you're aiming. But also it's going to show you which target is your aim assist target. And the reason for that is that I have two affixes in the game, guiding hand and also homing bullets, that make your bullets follow, well, in in the case of guiding hands, the bullets will follow the crosshair position, and the bullets will travel to the nearest enemy to the crosshair position if it's homing bullets. So I need a way of, instead of reworking those, I could have reworked those to work with controller to like redo their functionality, but I like their functionality. So one of the reasons why I want to enable players to see their crosshair is that they can make better use of that kind of functionality by seeing where their crosshair actually is when they're using a controller. And that should hopefully make it easier to leverage those two affixes. So I don't actually need to change the code of those affixes. I just needed to show the player like where their crosshair actually is. And of course, if you don't want to use the crosshair, then you don't need to, because those things will still work well if you don't even have a visible crosshair. So yeah, we'll see how that works, but random thing to point out, but I love how bouncy the walk was just now. Very fun to watch. Thank you. Appreciate that, Marikind. Yeah, I think everything's turning out really good. I'm very, regardless of how this game does. Wow, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm working too long hours, I guess. Regardless of how my game does, I'm going to be very proud of this one in particular. Gunforged. So let's see. So I need to transform this. I'm gonna cheat. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, so I'm gonna ask ChatGPT on my other monitor. How can I transform a world global position to a canvas layer position in Godot 4? I'm not going to share my screen. I don't want to accidentally like dox myself or something. But let's see. I'll read everything that ChatGPT is telling me. In Godot 4, to transform a world global position. Okay, that's already annoying. Let's see. Convert viewport. Affine inverse X form viewport position. Get viewport, get camera 2D, unproject position, world position. Oh, I need to do this in 2D. Oh wait, it does want me to use the unproject position still? World to canvas layer, world position. What? Unproject position. All right. So what? Game. I have a game camera singleton here. You know what I might do? I might just create a public method in here. Public static void. Public static vector 2 to screen position. Vector 2 global position. Shaky camera. Let's see. Instance dot shaky camera 2D dot unproject. That's not a thing. ChatGPT's lying to me again. Unproject position is not a thing. Well, thanks for nothing, ChatGPT. Or unless I'm just missing it. AI is going to take over the world, everyone. It is going to take over the world by straight up not being useful. Okay, well, yeah. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong camera. 2D. There's no unproject position. Okay, well, you're useless. Okay. I've done this before, it's just going to be really tricky. So if I do... Just grab a position here. Let's do X form returns the inverse of the transform. I wonder if I could do, let me think. Yeah. Let's do this. Actually, you know what? I think I'm doing it in the point of interest component, I think. Am I doing a transform in here? Process. Let's see. Get viewport canvas transform times global transform. Indicator screen position. Yeah. So it's something like this. Get viewport canvas times global transform. Yeah, so let's try this. I'm not entirely sure if this is going to work, but... So in the cursor here, position, let's do var screen position is equal to get viewport canvas transform times... can I just do position? That should work. And if I take this, root position is equal to that. So I don't need to store. I don't need to store a screen position. Okay, I could make this a single line as well, but let's just see. That's probably not going to work, but we're going to mess with transforms. I need to actually, one of these days, I need to actually do a deep dive on transforms, because like if I knew how they worked, I bet that would be super powerful. But hey, look, it works. Okay. I wonder if I should make it extend out further, especially when you're on the wider sides of the screen. But anyway, that's working good. So let's go to my input manager here. Let's turn this distance up. What was it, 128? There we go. Okay. So now... Oh, that might be... Maybe the old one was better. So let me see if I can modify this so that it extends outward. So this would be the min controller aim distance, and this would be the private const float max controller aim distance is equal to 256. All right, so what I basically need to do is I need to take the difference between those things. So var distance diff is equal to max controller aim distance minus min controller aim distance. And then I'll need to take the cosine of the controller aim direction, which should be... Or no, I don't need to take the cosine. No. I just need to take the x component of it. So we got the controller aim direction. That is normalized, so that's good. So we're going to take that additional distance is equal to global input manager dot controller aim direction dot x times distance diff. And then in here, this will be min controller aim distance plus distance diff. So that should give me something elliptical. Oh no, additional distance. There we go. So I think that's going to give me an elliptical shape in terms of the aiming, because as it goes over to the right and the left, oh, you know what? I just thought of something. This needs to be mathf.apps. So if you're aiming pure left, it's going to add the maximum distance, and if you're aiming pure up, it's going to add 0 additional distance. Oops. Keep running the wrong thing. I keep running the wrong thing. It's right in their docs, by the way, the single line you need. Well, it doesn't show up on Google, so no, I believe that. But I got it. I don't think I can post it because Automod will think it's a link. Yeah, the YouTube Automod is ridiculous. Hello, Neozoid. Welcome back. Create a top-down 2D course in Godot. I need... Well, I got other things to do, but maybe someday. Okay. Why is this... Oh, I guess I'm not as clever as I thought. There's like a little hump right here. Why is that happening? I guess I didn't really make it elliptical, did I? I made it like 2 humps. Okay, well, I guess I'd need an actual elliptical formula in there, but I am not going to worry about that just yet. Let's get the rest of it working first. Might not even need that because of the aim assist stuff that I have that I want to do. Okay. So, there's our crosshair here. And now I want to do aim assist. So, let's see. I'm just trying to think. So the way that I was going to do aim assist is I've got this enemies in cone here. Game utils. So get enemies in direction, and what this does is this rad to dag enemy. Okay, so this is getting all enemies within a 30-degree cone. Player.center position.direction to x dot global position. Get all enemy hurt boxes. Shouldn't this return hurt box component? Okay. Anyway, so yeah, this is getting all... We can just return this. This is getting all the enemies that are in a direction within 30 degrees of the aiming, which is good. But I'm not sure that that's what I want to do. Player input manager. Yeah, I'm doing an order by here. I don't think I want to do that. but I'm just going to see how it looks. I don't want to do an order by every frame, I don't think, but... So the first enemy, so it's going to order it by the distance to the player. I don't think that should happen either. I think there needs to be... It needs to be like a combination of distance away from the player and angle to the current aim position. Okay. Controller aim direction. So we've got the controller aim direction here, which is like the true direction, but the aim position needs to be different from that. Let me try this. If first is not equal to null, aim position is equal to first.global position. This is going to be wrong. This is not going to be what I want, but I just want to see. I'm basically going to need to keep a different aim position, and I'll probably need to lerp. Yeah, I'm going to need to lerp and some stuff. Where are you from? I think it's more easy to understand you than other people's. I am in the United States. I am in Ohio, to be specific. Ohio. Yeah, I don't know what makes me easier to understand. Just, I don't know. Speaking clearly, I guess. I don't know. Anyway. You expecting more snow this week? Yeah, we got a bunch of snow. Yesterday or 2 days ago. I haven't really checked the weather, but I think there's a lot of snow coming. Let me see. Oh, snow. Yeah, snow gets old a little bit. Yeah, it looks like we're getting some. Not a whole lot this week, though, so that's good. Also, you enunciate exactly. Well, thank you. Thank you. I try to enunciate if possible, but... Okay, so here... Yeah, the aim assist is a little bit aggressive, but you can see how my aim is snapping. But I can't really pull my aim off. So yeah, I've got to figure out... I was doing some reading on how to do like aim assist in these kind of games. And I think it's just a combination of doing a bunch of lerps and like... Yeah, just kind of guiding, not necessarily ripping the player's aim away, but like guiding it closer to the enemy. So, but it's locking on, as you can see, and then if I leave, see it locks on over there. But I can't necessarily move my aim. So I think that's just a matter of doing the aim assist lerping. So instead of setting this to first.global position, what I want to do probably is, and I should do some debug draws here as well, but let's do aim position. Now here's the question, should I lerp the position or should I lerp the angle? I mean, I guess it's the same kind of difference, but I think probably doing a slurp with an angle would be more reliable. Because I don't necessarily, I mean, I want the aim position to be over the enemy when it's detecting that it's doing a, you know, aim assist. Because I think that's going to be useful for the player. But yeah, I need to lerp the, yeah, I should lerp the, okay, let me think. I think what I need to do is I need to lerp the length and the angle separate from each other. Unless... Does slurp work? Does slurp change the... the length. Let's see. So aim position, let's do this. Let's do aim position is equal to, oh man, how am I gonna do this? Okay, let's try this. Var target aim position is equal to, let's do vector 2. Vector 2 target aim position. We'll set target aim position there. Target aim position there. Okay, so we got our target aim position. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say aim position is equal to aim position dot slurp. So what does this do? Spherical linear interpolation between this vector and 2 by amount weight. This method also handles interpreting the lengths if the input vectors have different lengths. Very nice. Okay, so I can do slurp and it will interpolate the length for me. So we're going to slurp to the target aim position, and then we're going to take the weight. Let's just do 1f minus mathf dot xp. Let's do -3 times get float get process delta time. Again, this is just a frame rate independent lerp, so it behaves the same no matter how fast or slow the game is rendering in terms of frames per second, because that's one of the biggest beginner issues is thinking that lerp can just be used with delta and that automatically makes it frame rate independent, and that's just not the case. So I think what's happening is I'm getting a bunch of lerps together. So one problem is that I think in my global input manager, I think I'm doing a lerp in there. Yeah, I'm doing a slurp in here. So I think what I should do for the global input manager is this should just be the raw hardware controller aim direction, and any lerping should be done at a different layer. So there shouldn't be a slurp done here. So I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'm just gonna say controller aim direction is equal to direction.normalized. So that's just gonna be the raw, always up-to-date hardware aim direction. And then I will modify that here. So I'm basically just need to do like 35, I think was the... So var, let's do smoothing strength is equal to, let's do 35 by default. Smoothing strength is equal to 10 by default, and we'll put that in here. Okay, and then global input manager, that can go away. Cool, all right. Hello, Alan. Have I encountered any problems with C# in Godot? I have not. I mean, you can't export to web, and I think that's basically it. I mean, there are a couple of quirks with C#, but it's not, you know, it's not like terrible. Okay, so that strength is still a little bit too strong. And I think it's because I need to figure out a better algorithm for getting which enemy to lock onto. I'm not sure that what I'm using is the best, but let's see, player input manager here. I'm just gonna go in and edit this. Let's do less than 10 degrees. I think ideally what I would do is I would have stronger... The farther away an enemy is, the more forgiving the auto aim assist should be. Yeah, because I can really notice it. So you can see when the cursor snaps, that's when aim assist is kicking in. But the problem is I'm not really able to move my aim off of that. And I think that's mostly related to the lerp strength. So I wonder if I turn this down. Like, I still want to be able to move my aim off of the aim assist target, it should just be a very light touch. So if I turn down the smoothing strength to like 3 here, when it grabs a target, you know what might be better actually is, let me think. Well, let's see how this works. I might need to maintain a couple of different. So if I maintained a aim assist vector and the actual aim vector, I wonder if that would be better. I'm going to draw those vectors, but I'm going to bump this smoothing up even more. Okay, let me go to my player here. Player. I'm just going to, in here, Q redraw, public, override void draw. Okay, draw line from center position. Oh, is this global position? Okay. So from hurtbox component dot position, this all has to be in local coordinates, so it's a little bit iffy. So to local input manager dot aim position, get aim position. Okay. This color, colors dot green, float width, let's do 2. Okay. And then let's also draw the global input manager. Let's do get aim position. Yeah, let's do controller aim direction times 128. This needs to be hurtbox component dot position plus that. And this one, let's do colors.blue. All right, let's see if that works. So now I'll be able to see where my actual aim vectors are going, I think. Okay, so here, so the blue is where the controller's aiming, and the green is where the actual aim is. So you can see that there's a little bit of lerping. So it's a very high degree, but you can see that the blue line is always slightly ahead of the green line. So that's just, you know, for feel purposes. You don't necessarily want to snap controller inputs in the game. I don't think any games do that. I think there's always at least a couple of frames of lerp. It just makes everything feel smoother. But then you can see that that's my aim assist, right? So I can be as much as this much off. Now I think the problem is, one of the problems is that the aim assist, if I'm pointing this direction, the aim assist looks like it should more accurately target this guy because it's got a lower angle. But right now it's just targeting the closest one that's within a 10-degree angle of the aim direction. So you can see the blue line. As soon as I get 10 degrees away, the aim assist snaps away, right? So that's kind of cool. But I think it needs, I mean, it's feeling okay. I just need to, I guess it's just a matter of playing with this until it gets to the point that I want it to be. But I'm going to actually, let me stage this because I'm kind of getting, oops. getting to a good spot here. So I'm just going to stage those just in case. Where's my player input manager here? So in get enemies in direction, I'm going to create a very specific method in here called static node 2D get aim assist enemy. I'm just going to make this very specific. So I'm basically going to copy all of this here. And what I'm going to do is, let's see, get all enemy hurt boxes. So I'm getting all the enemy hurt boxes where? Yeah, so I'm going to actually change this. For each var hurt box in get all enemy hurt boxes node. Okay, we'll get rid of these things. Okay, node 2D closest enemy equals null. Node 2D, or no, let's do float closest angle equals float dot max or float dot positive infinity. Okay. So I'm going to iterate over all of the hurt boxes, get the direction to the enemy. So let's do hurt box dot global position. Let's continue if the dot product is less than or equal to 0, which means that, so if dot product between two vectors is greater than 0, then the angle between those two vectors is 90 degrees, less than 90 degrees. So basically, if you want to get everything in a 180 degree cone, you can just do a dot product between two vectors and see if it's greater than 0. So that's just an early check, I guess, which might not even necessarily be necessary, but I'll just keep it there, I suppose. So mathf.rad to deg. So this is converting the direction to enemy.angle plus math.tau. Why is that adding math.tau? That doesn't make any sense. Tau is 2 pi, so why is it just, I don't know why it's adding that. Okay. Is tau 2 pi? Or is it... Yeah. Wait a minute, am I wrong about that? Yeah, it's 2 pi. Okay, so we're going to take that rad to, we're converting the enemy angle to degrees just so it's easier to reason about. Diff is enemy angle minus direction angle. Why is it adding math.tau? I don't know. Anyway, was I just forcing it to be positive or something? I could just do that here, mathf.abs. It doesn't matter what... All that matters is the absolute value of the angle. Because I'm just trying to check the difference between them. Okay, and then this diff. If diff is less than closest angle equals diff. Is that gonna work? Do I need to mathf.apps this too? Might as well. If diff is less than closest angle, then there's our closest angle, then closest enemy is equal to hurt box. Cool. Return closest enemy. Okay. All right, let's see if that does anything. Hello, Snupbill. Thank you so much for the IDR 10,000. Very much appreciate that as always. And of course, we got the message yummers here. Thank you, thank you. It's very generous. Okay. So we should see now that even though the left training dummy is physically closer, you can see that once I get closer in terms of angle to that enemy, it switches over. Now the skeleton's kind of a bad weapon to use for this purpose because the skeletons have a mind of their own. So let's just let's do 2 laser guns. Why not? Oh wow, why was that sticking so much? Oh, I'm not. I got rid of the condition. I need to keep that condition. So if diff is less than 10 and diff is less than closest angle, yeah. I had to keep that 10 degree. So only gonna snap if we're within 10 degrees, and I might even turn that down a little bit. Of course, I could change the aim assist strength as well, but like I could make it an option for people. What? Okay. Okay, now here's a problem. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to see how this feels. I guess this is why they say to comment code. Well, I don't agree with that. I don't like commenting code. If your code is not clean enough to understand, then it's bad. And I'm going to assume that my code was bad. Yeah, I'm very much anti-code comment, gang. I can't tell. I can't tell if this feels good or if this is just snapping too wildly. I can't tell. I don't have like a max range either on it, so that's the other problem. Yeah, maybe I should be ordering it by distance. Instead of angle. So I think I might have had it right the first time. So let's try that. It looks good so far. Sorry, I had to take a meeting for the last 20 minutes. That's all right. That's totally fine. Let's see. So what do I want to do with this? Yeah, so I don't think sorting it by angle is a good idea. So I definitely want to sort it by distance. So closest, so let's do closest distance instead. Float to positive infinity. If diff is less than 10 and far distance is equal to player.center position.distance squared 2 hurt box dot global position. If distance okay, so we're not going to use the closest angle, we're going to use the closest distance now. And then I need to put a max distance on it, so I need to say if the distance squared is greater than some value, like if it's off screen, then it shouldn't snap. It should only snap to enemies you can see. We'll see. It's hard to tell if my aim is working well with these debug draws on. So let's turn them off. Had to bury the cat, sorry. Okay. Let's see what this does. I think if I put a max distance on it, it would work. It would work better. Or, yeah, I'm trying to think. I think probably the crosshair, let me think. The crosshair probably shouldn't actually move into position according to which enemy is being targeted. So let me try this. Global Input Manager, what am I doing here? Where's the process method here? Controller aim direction. Okay, so I need to, basically what I need to do is shoot. Okay. Yeah. This is using get aim position. Yeah, I wonder if I just did this. I wonder if I just, instead of setting the target aim position to the global position of the enemy here, I wonder if I, if I just kept the controller distance the same, maybe I'll do that. So let's try this. player.center position dot direction to aim assist enemy dot global position. Target aim position is equal to player.center aim center position. So I can actually just change this all. Vector 2 aim direction, so I'll just do this. Aim direction is equal to that. Target aim position. We'll set the smoothing strength for sure. This target aim position now is going to just pass in this direction here. Aim direction. So we're going to keep the cursor at a fixed distance, but then we're still going to snap the aim direction. Direction to... Yeah, okay. Hello, Sable Spirit Studio, welcome back. So now the aim assist is still functional, but it's not moving the cursor all over the place, which was being very confusing. Dang. Yeah, I definitely need to make that. Aim assist should only work within a certain radius of the player, I think. Because otherwise it just gets, your aim just gets pulled everywhere. And maybe aim assist should only work if you're actively aiming. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that. Get action strength. I could use get action strength to determine if you're currently aiming and then only apply the aim assist so that if you don't have... Because it looks weird when the aim assist takes over and you're not aiming and it's just going all over the place. I have to say though, I mean, this is feeling pretty decent, this aim assist. Obviously I'll give players the ability to turn it off if the snapping is too aggressive, but yeah, if I just limit the range in which that can work, I think it's going to be fine. I think it does make it a lot easier. Okay, so let's make those two improvements. So I want to not apply aim assist if the player is not actively using the aim stick, and also limit the range in which aim assist takes over. And I think once I do those two things, it's going to feel very good. And then I need to add options. So I want to add an option to show the crosshair with when you're on a controller. I think it's going to be hidden by default, but giving players the option to show that, and then also giving the option to turn off aim assist if you don't want it. And of course, aim assist is only going to work when you're using a controller. Yeah. So, okay, a lot to do, but let's see. Yeah, let's do... remove the player there, yeah. Okay. Initial work on aim assist. All right, I'm gonna go take a quick break. It's all good, Splat. Welcome. I'm about to go on a quick break here, but it's going well. Just adding aim assist. I think it's going well. So yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna go on a quick 2-minute break. In the meantime, please check out the links in the description below. Gunforge releases a week from today, so it's almost here. So yeah, definitely wishlist that if you're interested. Otherwise, you can purchase one of my Udemy courses. Those are also available, linked below. So I'll be right back in just 2 minutes. I'm going to get some more drink, and then when I come back, we'll continue on with the aim assist work. Alrighty, I'm back. So, those two things that I mentioned. So my global position manager, my global input manager here, let me do... Public static bool is aiming controller is equal to, or we'll send it to, is using controller and input dot get action strength controller. Oh no. First of all, I'm gonna set this to vector2.write by default. Do I have to do this really? Input.get action strength. I wonder if I should just do that in input here. Do I really have to do this? Well, that's absurdly long. Probably should have put that in a function, but oh well. Aim down, left, right, up. Okay. Global input manager dot is aiming controller. Okay, so that should disable that if I'm not actively aiming. And then get aim assist enemy. This needs to have a... So if diff is less than 10 and distance... I don't know, I'm just going to pick a number, 150. Let's put it private const float aim assist angle equals 10. Private const float assist distance we'll call this squared, I guess. Okay. Rename this. I'm not going to use this min and max stuff anymore. Okay, there we go. What's the difference of global input manager and player input manager? That's a good question. So the global input manager just listens for keyboard and controller events for the purpose of handling the difference switching between controller and keyboard. So that's basically what the global input manager is for. And the player input manager is responsible for taking the sort of global input state and translating it into player doable actions. So yeah, it's just a way of extracting out the responsibilities, really, or abstracting the responsibilities. Could make that distance a little bit longer, I think. All right, let's turn the drawing back on for the player and we'll just take a look. Hello, Alfonso. Godot have advantage to create your game without restrictions and sell it freely than Unity. I was reading they got a policy that if you certain downloads, you have to pay. By the way, I buy your course and it's amazing. Well, thank you, Alfonso. Yeah, so that's correct. Yeah, Godot, Godot's open source, MIT licensed, so there's you don't have to pay any royalty fees or anything like that, which is different than other professional engines. So yeah, and I'm glad that you enjoyed the course, yeah. But yeah, I think for most indies, like my impression is that, or my understanding is that the Unity fees and whatnot don't really kick in until you make quite a bit of money, which most indies are not going to make. So I think Unity is still a good option. You know, it's very unlikely that your game, my game, anyone's game is going to sell to the degree that the Unity fees would kick in. That would be a good problem to have, but yeah, certainly if you're a more established studio, probably Godot is a more attractive option because then you don't have to worry about paying those fees. Okay, the aim assist does not kick in when I'm not actively aiming, which is great. Cool. May I ask you a question about your Godot utilities? When I'm using node attribute, it won't work on nested nodes, right? It does work on nested nodes if you mark them as unique name, but what you can also do is the node attribute can accept a single argument, which is the node path to the node that you're trying to assign. So you can pass in, if you want, a path to the exact node that you want to match, and it will take preference over that path, or it will use that path to find the node rather than trying to auto find it. So you can either mark the node as unique in the scene, or you can supply a path string to the node attribute. What I usually do is I just mark the node as unique, so then I don't need to add any strings to the node attribute. Hello, Emerson. Welcome back. Great to see you. How do I mark it unique? You just go into your node tree here, right click, and it would be this option, access as unique name. It puts a little % icon here. And that makes it so that you can reference the node by prefixing its name with a % symbol. It's just basically a nice way of getting a reference to highly nested nodes, so you don't need to have like these enormous paths. I think that's a Godot 4 thing though, so if you're on Godot 3, I don't think that's a thing. I could be wrong though. Okay. Let me just check one more thing here. You're welcome. You're welcome, Lysai. I know this will depend on a different person, but on your personal view of Godot when you start using it, how long you spend to dominate the program. It was hard to learn the engine. I mean, I think it's like any game engine. It's got its learning curves. It's got its quirks. It's, you know, I'm not sure. I mean, how difficult it is to learn will depend on your previous experience with game development. If you've got a lot of game development experience, then I think that, you know, there are just going to be things in the engine that just obviously make sense. But if you're brand new to it, then yeah, you're brand new to game development in general, then I think it's definitely a steeper learning curve, just trying to learn any engine. But it's obviously doable. It's not that bad, and there's lots of free resources out there to that you can learn from. So yeah, I think in terms of how long it takes, I would say that it didn't start feeling really comfortable in Godot until like a year, maybe a year and a half into consistently using it. So it takes a while for sure. You can become productive with it much earlier than that, but to become like you said, an expert in it, to become like really familiar with the ins and outs and like how you're supposed to build things, it takes a year plus of consistent effort, I think. That's been my experience anyway. I'm not sure. Like you said, it'll vary depending on what type of person you are. Hello, Sable Spirit. Oh, I already said hello to you. What we talking UID? No, the access as unique name in the scene tree. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I was just gonna see. Oops. Just wanted to see that this is working correctly. Perfect. And then if I can take over the mouse. See how the mouse, like I still have my controller aim direction, that's that blue line, but the controller's not in effect right now. But if I go back to my controller, now that works great. So it's just get seamless switching between mouse and keyboard if you want. I think that feels pretty good, actually. So you can see how my controller, the blue line, is deviating a little bit, but the green line, the aim assist, is taking over for me. So it makes it easier to hit things. Oh, I forgot the health globes run away. Okay. Are there any kind of microtransactions? No. Nope, this game is going to be a one-time purchase, typical Steam game. It's actually... I don't know what the cross L means. Pronounce it more like a French oui. Plus C. Oui see. Okay. Means bald in Polish. I'm not sure if I'm going to remember that, but that's good to know. We'll see. We see, huh? I believe the main problem with that Unity's fee policy is not about the money. You might say it's fair, but to me it's about the loss of trust since they can do whatever they want. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I certainly wouldn't... I mean, I certainly am uncomfortable about hitching my success, financial success, to a for-profit company, because it's just from a business perspective, it's like a point of failure, right? Like if Unity ever does go down the drain, which it seems like it almost did for a lot of people, then you're just kind of like locked into this ecosystem where, I mean, this is why I've gotten all of my data, all my photos and stuff off of the third-party cloud providers, because they could just, I mean, they could go out of business, they could just shut down your account for whatever reason, and it's like, since my entire living is basically made creating digital products, I can't rely on that as a single point of failure, because then my business goes down, right? So it's definitely more attractive when you have something like Godot, which has been forked a million times. Like even if the repository gets nuked by GitHub for whatever reason, there's going to be somebody's got the source code somewhere duplicated on their drive, you know, or whatever. So it's like it's much more robust in that sense, I think. I'm looking to buy Aseprite courses. Do you have any of those, my friend? I do not. I'm not good enough at art yet to be an instructor in that, but thank you for asking. I appreciate that. Takes a year plus of consistent effort. Yeah, I mean, that was my, for becoming an expert in the program. You can certainly become proficient in a program or a tool much earlier than that. But I'm saying, like, to know the ins and outs of something, like Godot. But yeah. Also, college is a great, I mean, you know, your entire focus there is learning that, so. But yeah, cool. Are you using, what engine are you using for your college course? Hello, Neozoid. How do the aim assist you have implemented works? Yeah, basically what it does is it, basically I just find all the enemies that are within a 10-degree radius of the controller aim direction. I find the enemy that is closest to the player, and then I just lerp the aim direction. So there's the controller aim direction, which is like you could call it like the hardware aim direction, right? It's like, this is the direction that the analog stick is actually moving. But then I have like the aim direction that's adjusted, which is what actually gets used by the game for purposes of aiming the guns and shooting the bullets. And so I just lerp between that hardware aim direction and the direction that is required to aim at the closest enemy that I mentioned. And that's it, basically. And then when the enemy leaves that degree range, so if the enemy ends up being more than 10 degrees in terms of rotation away from the aim direction, then the controller aim direction takes over again. So it's mostly just a very tiny, like, drag the aim to the enemy if you're like close to aiming at the enemy. And then there's other constraints, like it doesn't do aim assist on enemies that are a certain distance away from the player, so you're not like snapping to an off-screen enemy. It's mostly so that like when you're aiming at an enemy that is within your immediate vicinity, like it's a lot harder to miss the enemy. Three, two, one rule. Yes, that's right. Yeah, everyone should be familiar with the 3-2-1 rule. I'm using Godot. You're the one who introduced. Oh, I see. Okay. That's why I sometimes ask you an out of nowhere question. Cool. That's awesome. Very, very, very nice. Okay, so let's see. What do we got to do? I think the aim assist is feeling okay. And I think that the homing bullets. So let me test the homing bullets and the rat bullets as well. I think that I don't really need to do any work on those now because I've kind of got the aim position down. So let's see. Let's do rat gun here and wasp gun there. Okay, so now you can see that my homing bullets still work. I can aim the rats. So you're not gonna have as much control over the rats, for instance, as you would using the mouse, but you can still direct their motion with the controller. And then in terms of the homing bullets, this works just fine. So you can see that they're homing over. What is that? Why are you doing? That is not correct. That aim assist is way off. What's going on here? The blue is where my controller's aiming. What is going on there? Did I just mess something up? Let's see. Use aiming controller. Get aim assist enemy. Direction angle. Enemy angle minus direction angle. If diff is less than aim assist angle, which is 10. I see. Well, I don't know what's going on there. The only thing I can think of is this diff is not correct. Diff. Get aim assist enemy. Controller aim direction. I wonder what's going on there. I'm not an expert on this, but maybe Unity, if you learn it, you can work with a company like Blizz, maybe something big. Godot's more freelancer, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I think, well, the big companies, they have their own engines. I think a lot of people are moving to Unreal, though, the bigger companies. But yeah, I mean, I would say probably that's the case. Like, you're probably going to find more jobs in the industry if you know Unity or Unreal than if you know Godot. I think that's probably a true statement. $45 and $11? What? I don't understand. Oh, because I did this wrong. Oops. I think I need to do this. mathf.deg to rad, or rad to deg rather. Direction to, what am I doing? Direction.angle to. I think that's better. So direction to enemy, right. Direction, yeah, we're taking the aim direction now. Angle to direction to enemy, yeah. I think I just did my check wrong there. This should work. You can add a feature when comparing stats of guns you already have, paint it red or green, but you could add a percent indicator. That's a good idea. I mean, the problem there, though, is that I don't have enough space on that screen. That's a huge problem. Is like I can't just stuff more text there because then all the layouts get broken. Like the text that you see on those ingots, that's as small as the text can be. I know it doesn't look like it, but given the resolution and the fonts that I'm working with, the text that you see on these gun overviews here, these literally can't be any smaller. And then if I add percentages to it as well, like that will take up a lot of space in some cases. Could break the layout. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice, but yeah, I just don't... The UI has been a huge challenge in this game just because of the limited space that I have. Okay, that's feeling much more reasonable. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to... My player here, let's get rid of this. Aim assist improvements. Okay, so commit that. I want to see, yeah, so I need to implement the options for this now, but the first thing that I want to do is in this options manager here, return false here. I want to see how the aim assist feels without any visual indicators whatsoever. Oh, I should probably change my guns here. Frog, no. Oh my. Yeah, I mean, the aim assist, it feels fine. It's very light touch, which is good. I'm not really noticing it as a player, but if I'm paying attention, I can definitely tell that it's helping me out a little bit. And again, I mean, the aim assist isn't that important for this kind of game either. And the reason is because a lot of the bullets just have completely wild behavior. So like the bubbles, for instance, like they don't go in the direction that you aim anyway. So like being right on target with your aim is not super important. Back to keyboard, can freely aim, then back to controller. If I unplug my controller, it goes back to keyboard. If I plug my controller back in, boom, excellent. I love how this is just immediately switches between keyboard and mouse prompts. Okay, all right, so that's all looking good. All looking and feeling good. So I should probably keep those debug draws in place, but I'm not going to. We'll just discard that. Okay. So I don't need to do anything with the homing bullets or the rat bullets. I think those are working fine. So add option to visualize crosshair into the options menu. Rumbles to various places. Disable rumble. So there's two options I want to do. So let's go to the options menu here. Options menu. Shoot. I want to do an engraved header down here. Controller. This one would be show crosshair. And then we'll duplicate this. This enable, whoops. Rumble. Is that what it's called? Rumble? I think so, right? Controller rumble button. This screen is a little bit too big. Now I might need to add a scroll bar, but let's see. I don't want to add a scroll bar. Oops. And just reduce the spacing between each thing. Yeah, that looks better anyway. I'm sure I'll have to add a scroll bar eventually, but... Okay, so let's see. Show tutorial button. This rumble button. Oh, this one. Okay. Cool. Whoops. I think I called it show crosshair button and controller rumble button. These are ingot buttons. Okay. Update display. Show crosshair button dot button pressed is equal to options manager dot is controller crosshair enabled. I'm gonna need another one here. Is controller rumble enabled? Okay, now I need to change these buttons. So show crosshair button dot toggled on crosshair. Let's do this. On show crosshair button toggled. this is controller rumble button on, controller rumble button toggled. Options manager dot is crosshair enabled equals is enabled. So this, now I need to do this. Options data is controller crosshair enabled. I'll do the same for this one. Rumble enabled. We're going to turn this one to true by default. Okay. Options manager dot. When does update display get called? Oh. Options manager dot is controller rumble enabled equals is enabled. Cool. All right, let's take a gander at this and see if it works. Vibrations. Is it not called rumble? Maybe that's a better word for it, vibrations. Cool. If I turn rumble off, that doesn't do anything because I need to figure out, I need to send the rumble requests through a centralized location that can read the options data. Well, I will commit what I've done for the options menu. Add controller options to options menu. I'm also starting to learn C#, and I know, well, it's a little bit complicated to learn this beautiful lifestyle, but I'm really enjoying to learn something. I want to work as something professional. Do you? I think, yeah, I think I get what you're saying. Yeah. So you are enjoying learning something that's a little bit more difficult, like C#, because you want to do some professional work, be a professional software engineer or something. That's great. I'm glad that I could be an inspiration. Haptics is the all-encompassing word. Oh, that's a good one, yeah. Hello, Slavi. Going to start my YouTube channel today. Awesome. Awesome. I hope it goes well. And wishing you luck. I don't have any... Yeah, I don't have a C# course or anything. I don't go over like programming fundamentals in any of my courses, but there's plenty of good stuff on the internet, free resources to look at that stuff. So you can definitely find what you're looking for. Lifestyle of hurting back, eyes, and fried brain after 1,000 cups of coffee. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I got to figure out rumble enabled. Haptics would be a good word. I forgot actually how it's player input. Oh yeah, it's called vibration in Godot. Okay. So this is the point, is using controller. So input start joy vibration. It would be nice if I could just do, you know what I might do? Weak magnitude, strong magnitude, duration. So what I'll do instead is I'll do this. Global input manager. Public static void start Let's do vibrate controller, float weak vibration, float strong vibration, float duration. If not, global input manager dot is using controller, or not options manager dot is rumble enabled. We're just going to return, and then what I can do is I can copy this. So this controller device index, I can just do controller device index. Get rid of that. So I'll just send it all through the global input manager. That way I have the ability of detecting the option state. So controller device index. What? Oh, it's a long, oh, this needs to be an int. That's why. So then we've got weak, let's do weak magnitude, strong magnitude, weak strong duration, weak magnitude, strong magnitude, duration. Okay, so now I can just, oh, I don't need to do that. So if we're not using a controller or the rumble is disabled, we're just going to return out of that, and then I can do the vibration here. So now in here, what I can do is I can do global input manager dot vibrate controller. Get rid of that. Global input manager dot vibrate controller. 1F0.3. Get rid of that. Okay. Would you say having a Discord for the base community is an essential? Well, I don't have a Discord, and I seem to be doing all right on YouTube. I should probably create one though. It certainly can only help, really. Joy vibration, yeah. It certainly can only help to have a Discord community, which I may consider setting up at some point in the future, but I'm not sure yet. The problem is not that I don't want a community, it's that I just don't have really a whole lot of time to be in there constantly and as active as I probably should be. That's the big holdup for me. So just making sure the vibration works when I take damage. It does. Okay, let's go to options, turn off the rumble. No controller vibration. Awesome. Okay, so there's one other place where I want to add that vibration, and that is on the passive select ingot effect. The select ingot effect in here, play global input manager dot vibrate controller. So now whenever I select an ingot from this screen, I should also get a rumble there. Oh, you know what? The teleport beams too. So now I can just throw that line of code everywhere where I want the controller to vibrate, and it'll just automatically take effect based on whether I'm using the controller or whether I'm using a keyboard or whether I have that option disabled. Oh, this is feeling really good with the aim assist. Nice. That chicken head looks pretty good on that gold gun. Sweet. I want to see the crosshair. Let's just turn this on. Cool. Everything's working pretty good. Oh, I take damage every time I dash. Okay. There's one thing I want to change, which is that this select ingot effect, it's a little bit too much. So I'm just going to turn it down a little bit. Let's see if it works in here. If I can just run it here. Still a little bit too much. Let's turn this down to 0.5. Controller support is almost done. I have literally one more thing on my list to do for controller support. Okay, that feels much better. Cool. All right. Controller vibration changes. Commit that. You added rumble, and as a result, you get a bug when you dash, get damage. No. I took a passive, which is called Gym Rat, and what the Gym Rat passive does is it makes your stamina used as health instead of your normal health. And so anytime you dash, you're technically losing health. And so that triggers the damage effect because you are being damaged. And that's an interesting passive because there's a passive also called, what is it called? What is it called? I think it's called Blood Torrent, and anytime you take damage, it deals 100% damage to enemies on screen and applies max bleed stacks. So what's interesting is if you take that passive plus Blood Torrent, you just do a free 100% damage every time you dash, which is really interesting. That was a totally unintended side effect, but because of the systems and how they work together, it just worked naturally, so it was great. It is a feature, yeah. The headache of controller support is almost done. Yeah, you're telling me. You're telling me. All right, so yeah, that's going to be it for the stream today. Got a lot done. So I've got one more thing to do with controller support, then I'll be testing it pretty heavily to make sure everything's working well. But yeah, that's going to be it, like I said, for the stream. Again, Gunforge comes out a week from today, so mark your calendars, wish listed, all that good stuff. You can also check out my Udemy courses. Those are linked in the description below as well if you want to learn how to build a complete game in the Godot engine. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your support. Thank you so much. We see, and Luca and everyone else watching, and to all the VOD watchers and lurkers out there, thank you as well. And I will see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. All right. Have a good day, everyone.